Did we just get one step closer to $5 million Bitcoin? Michael Saylor sure seems to think so. FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, has officially adopted fair value accounting rules for Bitcoin on corporate balance sheets. I'm going to tell you exactly what this means and why it's just another feather in the cap towards furthering Bitcoin institutional adoption in the years ahead. Also, did the Fed just pivot? Is the money printer getting warmed up? Just when you thought you couldn't get any more bullish. What's up, YouTube? I'm Hurley, and today we're talking about even more bullish news. The Financial Accounting Standards Board, or FASB, announced new rules that will see digital assets like Bitcoin more fairly represented as a treasury asset in corporate accounts. I know, I can just hear you. Accounting is boring, right? But I'm going to tell you exactly what this means and why you should care. Think of this as an update to old accounting rules that saw Bitcoin and other digital assets on company balance sheets treated as long-lived intangible assets, much like patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Doesn't sound anything like Bitcoin, right? This clear misclassification creates a problem when the asset is accounted for on a company's balance sheet. As we know, Bitcoin is a very new and unique asset. Although it is intangible, meaning not physical, it's extremely liquid, and its price is continuously updated on exchanges globally 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. These old accounting rules meant that the value of Bitcoin on a company's balance sheet could only be marked down as an impairment loss or sold as a capital loss or gain. This has been something that public companies like MicroStrategy have been pressuring FASB to update, as it unfairly characterizes Bitcoin with major losses when the price was down, but when the price of Bitcoin goes above their average cost basis like it is now, they can't capture the value of the price appreciation on their balance sheet unless they sell and trigger a capital gain. So under the old rules, MicroStrategy is still showing impairment loss on its Bitcoin holdings, even though their holdings are now up over 15%. This is why so many companies have been reluctant to buy any Bitcoin in their treasuries. That all changed this week with these new rules that will take effect December 15th, 2024, further paving the way for continued institutional adoption. Saylor posted this on X when the news broke. FASB has officially adopted fair value accounting for Bitcoin for fiscal years beginning after December 15th, 2024. This upgrade to accounting standards will facilitate the adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset by corporations worldwide. David Marcus, former president of PayPal and current CEO of Bitcoin Lightning-focused payment service Lightspark, tweeted this: "You may think this is a small accounting change that doesn't mean much. It's actually a big deal. This removes a large obstacle standing in the way of corporations holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. 2024 will be a landmark year for Bitcoin." This is major news and just another step on the long march towards global adoption. 3 years ago on a Twitter Spaces, Saylor listed 3 things that needed to happen for Bitcoin to blow past the market cap of gold and hit 5 million a coin.
So it's going to grind up to replace gold. It'll go to $500,000 a coin, regardless of whether they fix these things. But there are 3 things that are massive catalysts that cause an acceleration. And I don't think that those 3 things don't take us to 500,000. They take us to 5 million a coin, right? Those 3 things are a spot ETF where someone can go ahead and buy $100 million of Bitcoin via a security, an ETF security. I think that's 1. 2 is your bank is going to custody it for you and lend against it. And 3 is I can mark it up or mark it down on my balance sheet based on fair value, pari passu. It'll be pari passu to the way I'd handle Apple stock. If you have property with fair value accounting, by the way, it becomes pari passu to the way you'd handle treasury bonds on a treasury balance sheet. Treasuries are better than stocks because treasury is property, whereas a stock is a security, and you're capped out at 40% of your balance sheet as security. So it would be a major breakthrough if you saw any of those 3 things. When the banks normalize it and you can draw a $100 million credit line at 100 basis points from an FDIC insured bank, at that point, right, we're going to blow through the market cap of gold by a factor of 10.
Right.
So I think the best thing is those 3 things are highly likely to happen. I don't know if they happen in 36 months or 24 months or 12 months, but I would be shocked if it's more than 36 months. And I hope, guys, it doesn't happen in 12 months, because my view is the longer it takes, the more progressive the grind, the more time I have to buy more of it.
So according to Saylor, those 3 things are: 1, a spot ETF approval, which we know is all but guaranteed sometime in early 2024. 2, these FASB accounting rules being updated, check mark there. And 3, banks beginning to custody Bitcoin and lend against it. So there's a good chance by early 2024 we have 2 of the 3 boxes checked for Saylor's list of things that need to happen for Bitcoin to reach 5 million a coin. It's definitely not out of the question that we see a major bank begin custodying Bitcoin for their customers and offering to borrow against it within the next few years, especially after things get heated during this upcoming bull market following the halving in the spring. So the question is, do you want to see this exponential upside reflected in your traditional investment portfolio? How about that massive Bitcoin upside without the capital gains taxes? That's where Swan Bitcoin IRA comes in. To benefit from Bitcoin in your IRA, all you need to do is set up an IRA with Swan, allocate real Bitcoin to it, allow it to appreciate over time with 0 capital gains taxes, and enjoy your retirement. Go to swan.com/retire to learn more. So besides the FASB news, we also had a Fed meeting this week where Jerome Powell came out and dropped a bullish bomb on the entire financial world. Powell announced that the Fed will be holding rates where they are for the time being, confirming a pause, and even hinting at potential rate cuts starting in 2024.
As I noted earlier, since early last year, we have raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points, and we have decreased our securities holdings by more than $1 trillion. Our restrictive stance of monetary policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25 to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. While we believe that our policy rate is likely at or near its peak for this tightening cycle, the economy has surprised forecasters in many ways since the pandemic, and ongoing progress toward our 2% inflation objective is not assured.
Following Powell's speech, the markets quickly responded with fresh all-time highs, and BlackRock releasing a statement saying Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech is a green light for investors. And can I just say, I can't wait for a time when the world's financial markets don't have to wait with bated breath for what a stuffy old man behind a podium has to say about manipulating interest rates. Total clown show. This is precisely why we Bitcoin, folks, to end this madness. But I digress. Let's recap and give a potential 2024 timeline. January 2024, we likely have a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. February or March 2024, ETFs begin trading. March, potential first interest rate cuts. April, the 4th Bitcoin supply halving, which brings Bitcoin to a lower inflation rate than gold. May to November, more potential rate cuts and perhaps even a return of the money printer. December, FASB rules to adopt fair value accounting for Bitcoin go into effect. Can I just say, I don't think I could possibly get any more bullish on Bitcoin in the next 2 years. So what do you think? Are the new FASB accounting rules bullish? Does this count as a Fed pivot? Leave a comment with your thoughts, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the Swan Bitcoin channel for more content like this. Also, check out my video from earlier this week on the increase in cases of Bitcoin derangement syndrome, and the one from last week on the perfect storm building for Bitcoin going into 2024. Until next time, Bitcoin is peace.